Today we are going to be ranking MMA stars based on their superstardom. Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. If you are new here, my name is Kyle. I am your guy with many YouTube channels and welcome back to another tier list video, everybody. So I wanted to make a UFC tier list, especially because there's not a ton going on this week right now in the world of MMA, and I was looking through popular UFC tier lists and this was one of them. It has, I would say off the top of my head here, I'm sure there's some people missing, but the fighters that are mostly stars right now, and of course I'm going to be ranking them from S all the way to D. Now it is important to note that these are all pretty well superstars. I would imagine the only people that belong in D tier are people who I don't consider to be a star, but with that being said, guys, let's get into the tier list today. So Michael Chandler, initially I would have said it's like Michael Chandler's more of a hardcore star. Not a ton of people know him, but now that his name is so tied to Conor McGregor, I feel like he's getting a little bit more recognition. He's been in the trailers, he's been in the media, he's been along with Conor McGregor. So I would say that Michael Chandler, typically, I would have actually put him in a D, but I think he's moved up to a C or B. I might change him depending where I end up putting everybody else, but I'm going to leave him at C right now. He is a UFC star, but I wouldn't consider him nearly a superstar. Now, without question, the biggest star in UFC history, Conor McGregor, is in the S tier. Honestly, Conor McGregor should be in the SS tier. I think I'm going to add a row just for Conor McGregor. Honestly, let's add a row. We're going to add a row above, and it's going to be SS. I don't know what color you want to put it. Like, no, what? Well, let's just do blue. It doesn't really matter, right? And of course, look at me go. Here we go, ruining the entire tier list. So I'm going to have an SS tier for Conor McGregor because who can really compete with Conor McGregor? Honestly, guys, honestly, who can compete with Conor McGregor? It looks weird seeing the blue up there, but we're going to ride with it, okay? Let's move on to Colby Covington. Colby Covington, yeah, he's not a star compared to a lot of these fighters, but I will say he's better than Michael Chandler. At least he can headline a pay-per-view. I know that pay-per-view didn't necessarily do well. I actually don't know if they ended up releasing the actual numbers for that, because I know a lot of people like to say that, oh my god, Colby Covington can't sell anything, but I don't know if that's, they talk about that pay-per-view sucking because they dislike Colby Covington, or if it's actually what happened, because I've never seen anything on it. So, to be honest with you, I think I'm going to put him in the C tier as well. I'm going to put him in front of, I'm going to put him in front of Michael Chandler. He has all the ties into the president. Actually, he does have quite the name in right-wing politics. He's going on a lot of podcasts. He has a lot of friends there. Maybe I'll move him up to B. But again, I might switch these people around. Now, Tom Aspinall, as of right now, he has a ton of buzz around his name, especially overseas. I think Tom Aspinall is on his way to superstardom, especially being tied into John Jones right now, with being the heavyweight champion in the UFC, and everybody in this media and everybody online kind of giving him more attention because of the way that John Jones is right now. It's like, oh my god, this is the real champion. This is the true pound for pound GOAT. I think that Tom Aspinall is an A tier, to be honest with you. I think that's where he is right now. Khamzat Chimaev, he is absolutely a star, but he's starting to lose it. But as of right now, everybody still knows who Khamzat Chimaev is. I think actually, do I want to put him in the S tier? Because Conor McGregor is his own SS tier. I think I'm going to put him, actually, is Tom Aspinall bigger than Khamzat Chimaev right now? Maybe right now. Yeah, I'm going to leave him there. I'm going to leave him there. Now, Justin Gaethje, he's absolutely a star. Justin Gaethje can sell pay-per-views. Just everybody knows when Justin Gaethje fights, you're going to get absolute chaos. But I will say, I don't think Justin Gaethje is a Tom Aspinall or Khamzat Chimaev star. I'm going to put him in front of Colby Covington in B tier. Alexandre Pantoja, not a star whatsoever. I'm going to put him in the D tier. I love watching Pantoja fight. I don't understand all of the hate for him. I think his chain wrestling is really, really fun to watch, and his heart and determination is great, but unfortunately, I do not believe him to be a star. Islam Makhachev, absolutely a star. That's going to be an S tier. Islam Makhachev, doing numbers overseas and now even over in the West. A lot of people like Islam Makhachev, especially with the ties into Khabib. Like, everybody knows who Islam Makhachev is. He can sell a pay-per-view just by himself. He is absolutely a star. And same with Charles Oliveira, man. Charles Oliveira is now an S tier star. One of the biggest names in the UFC right now. Charles Oliveira, kind of like I was just saying about Tom Aspinall, he has all the buzz around him right now. Every single time Charles Oliveira is in, everybody's been talking about him. You see random TikToks about how wholesome he was. Still to this day, him winning the belt is one of the greatest clips in UFC history. But no matter where Charles Oliveira goes, the fans kind of go crazy. Dustin Poirier also has become a star. Here's the question. Is Dustin Poirier a bigger star than Islam Makhachev? I don't think so. I don't think so. He's a bigger star than Charles Oliveira. But Conor McGregor's his own tier. I'm going to put Dustin Poirier in front of Charles Oliveira because he has quite the name, especially after all of the Conor McGregor fights and creating an amazing career for himself. He fought both Islam Makhachev, Khabib. He fought everybody with the name. He's put on the best performances ever. He's fought for the BMF belt. This dude is absolutely a star. I think Islam Makhachev might be a bigger star than him, though. Leon Edwards, he has the name overseas, and that was proven by this past weekend. He at least has a star. He has some sort of stardom over there, but I will say he's not a star. He's just right behind Michael Chandler. Dricus du Plessis is an interesting one because I don't really know where to fit him. I don't know how much being a star in Africa really kind of resonates with the rest of the world, because the rest of the world wouldn't know who Dricus du Plessis is. You guys ever see that old clip? Not old clip, but that clip like maybe 6 months ago or something where he was on like Africa's Singer or something like that. It was an African show, and it was like a star behind a singer, and he actually, shockingly, Dricus du Plessis could sing. But all the comments on that were like, oh, you know, the people in there were like, who's Dricus du Plessis? So I don't know. Dricus du Plessis might not be a star yet. But I don't know. I don't think he's not yeah, he might be. Please correct me if I'm wrong on this, guys. I'm going to put him in the D tier, in the C tier at the bottom so far. Sean Strickland, absolutely a star right now, but he's not on the level of any of these guys, in my opinion. Also, Sean Strickland's kind of being taken down a notch, especially with, ESPN probably wouldn't want a guy like Sean Strickland, and I don't think it's the UFC saying, hey, Sean Strickland, we're not going to have a press conference with you. We're going to cut things short. I think it's ESPN and Disney. So I think he's losing a little bit of stardom, especially now that he's not fighting and he's just crying on Twitter. So I think he still has a name. Sean Strickland can still get a lot of attention. If he goes to a press conference, he will absolutely dominate the room. I'm going to put him in the A tier below Khamzat Chimaev. Yeah. Israel Adesanya, absolutely a star despite what you think of his fighting style. He can main event. He can capture arenas. He has sick one-liners. I'm just kidding. I'm going to put Israel Adesanya into the S tier in front of Charles Oliveira. I think that's where I'm going to place Israel Adesanya. Now, Robert Whittaker is a hardcore star, but Robert Whittaker is not a star, in my opinion. He's kind of like a Michael Chandler level. Yeah, Robert Whittaker is probably in front of Dricus du Plessis. That's where I would place him. Now, Alex Pereira, absolutely an S tier. Guys, do I put Alex Pereira in front of Islam Makhachev? UFC 300 main event, constantly fighting, constantly defending his belt. He might be one of the biggest stars in UFC history. Alex Pereira is our new front runner for S tier. When you capture memes, which Alex Pereira somehow has with the Shama and just him not having fun on roller coasters and stuff, I had to explain to my dad why Alex Pereira is a star. He's captured memes and he's putting on great performances. The arrow's sick. The rivalry with Israel Adesanya. This dude's absolutely a star. And I don't know where we're going to place everybody else, but he might be second to Conor McGregor. Let's move on to Yuri Prochazka. I want to say Yuri Prochazka is a star among hardcore fans. Is Yuri Prochazka really a star? I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think so. Maybe like a hardcore star, but I think he is a little bit more popular than Robert Whittaker, so I'm going to place him right behind Leon Edwards. Now, Sean O'Malley, this one's tough because I think he's slowly gaining recognition, but he hasn't reached the superstardom yet. Like, he's going to get there, especially if he keeps winning. He's doing a great job marketing himself right now. I just don't think he's there yet. I think he's bigger than Charles Oliveira. Is he bigger than Israel Adesanya? Is that the question? Now, I keep putting people in front of Charles Oliveira. Guys, I'm going to knock Charles Oliveira down a peg in front of Tom Aspinall because I keep putting people in the S tier in front of Charles Oliveira. That's where I'm going to put him. So, Sean O'Malley also belongs into the S tier. Do I put him in front of Israel Adesanya? I think so. I'm going to put him in front of Israel Adesanya, and I'm talking about right now, guys, because obviously Israel Adesanya, when he was champion, he had a lot more steam behind him. John Jones, shockingly, isn't that big of a star. He's kind of a star. He's pretty much has the UFC just talking about him being the greatest of all time. So John Jones is a star, but he's not this star. I don't believe that. No. He's going to run the A tier. I'm going to put him in front of Charles Oliveira. That's where I'm going to put John Jones. Now, Cyril Gane, he has France. That's about it. Nobody else kind of cares about him. So, but he can pull. Definitely more than these guys. I'm going to put Cyril Gane at the beginning of B tier. Stipe Miocic. Especially not now. Not now. I have to rank everything about right now, too. Okay? So, Stipe Miocic, not a star. Nobody cares about Stipe Miocic anymore. I'm a fan of Stipe, but nobody cares about him. He's going to go into the D tier. Petr Yan, hardcore fan. I don't know how much pull he actually has among Russians, but I don't think that... I think he's more of a hardcore fan star, so I'm going to put him at the bottom of C tier over here. Henry Cejudo, he has a little bit more pull than these guys, but it's not enough. I'm going to put Henry Cejudo right behind Colby Covington. I think that's where I'm going to throw him over there. Davison Figueiredo, a little bit more of the same like I was talking about Petr Yan. He doesn't have the pull. He's going to have Brazil, but that's no casual fans kind of get up for a Davison Figueiredo fight. He's one of the most exciting guys on the roster. I love Davison Figueiredo, one of my favorite fighters, but he can't pull. I'm going to put Davison Figueiredo. I'm going to put him... Actually, I'm going to put him behind Petr Yan. That's what I'm going to throw him. Ilia Topuria. You guys have seen the clips of Ilia Topuria. The dude is gaining a lot of traction, especially after his last fight. He is a star in Georgia. He's not filling out stadiums, but he's getting people to cheer for him. Ilia Topuria is quickly gaining a ton of traction, and I would consider him kind of in the same spot that Tom Aspinall is right now, except I would put him a little bit ahead of Aspinall. So that's where I'm going to throw Ilia Topuria over into the A tier. Alexander Volkanovski has captured himself to be a fan favorite, and no matter what he does, he's kind of like Tony Ferguson right now, who shockingly isn't on this list. No matter where Alexander Volkanovski goes, he is going to get a crowd until he ends up in a spot where he starts losing like 5-6 fights in a row. Right now, he still has the buzz. He captured memes somehow by being the guy who stepped up. He said he would step up and fight Leon Edwards on short notice. That made it to be a meme. He does a good job in that. Alexander Volkanovski is still absolutely a star. Do I put him... guys, yeah. He's still an S tier. I'm going to put him at the bottom of S tier. He's still an S tier star, but he is going to soon make his way down the list. Max Holloway is getting more buzz as time goes on, but I don't think he is on the level of anybody in the S tier yet. I think he has more buzz than Ilia Topuria. I think he has more buzz than Charles Oliveira. The question is, does Max Holloway have more buzz than John Jones? I want to say he does. Max Holloway is constantly main eventing. Max Holloway, UFC 300, the greatest moment. In my opinion, one of the greatest UFC moments of all time. That highlight is still everywhere. And UFC 300 alone skyrocketed Max Holloway's stardom. I'm going to put him at the beginning of A tier. He's going to be in front of John Jones, in my opinion. Sorry, I keep moving him down the bench over here. Aljamain Sterling, unfortunately, not a star. I'm going to be putting him, but he's a hardcore. He's kind of like, but even he's not, he's just a name. He's not necessarily a star. So I'm going to put him into the D tier. Brandon Moreno is a hardcore fan favorite. Hardcore fan favorite. Especially has all the pull down in Mexico. Now, I want to put him in the C tier because he's a hardcore fan star, but he does have that Mexican pull. Brandon Moreno's a big name over there, and it really has shown. I put Cyril Gane in the B tier because of his influence in France. So I'm going to put Brandon Moreno at the beginning of B tier because when it comes to their own communities, Brandon Moreno has more pull than Cyril Gane, in my opinion. Kamaru Usman, his stardom took a really, really big hit. He's more focused on podcasting right now, which, by the way, guys, if you haven't checked out that podcast, it is phenomenal. I love what he's doing over there. Same with Henry Cejudo. But that seems to be his more focus right now. He doesn't really have the pull anymore, but he is absolutely not a no-name. But I actually think Kamaru Usman, guys, has knocked himself down to a C tier. I really do think that. More of the same with Nate Diaz, but the problem is Nate Diaz can get attention wherever he goes. The Jake Paul fight, Nate Diaz could kick a water bottle down the road and his fans would be like, "Oh, Diaz Army, Diaz Army." Yeah, did you see the way Nate kicked that water bottle down the road? That was so sick, dude. Yeah, Nate. That water bottle had nothing on you. And that guy looking at you from down the street, Diaz don't lose fights. They only run out of time. Nate Diaz is still a star. I think I have to put him in the S tier. He still is a star, no matter what he does. I think Poirier has overtaken him. I'm going to put Nate Diaz there. That's where I'm going to throw him. Somehow he still has all the stardom. Khabib Nurmagomedov, still a star. Initially, I would have had him in Alex Pereira's place, but he is slowly losing it just a little bit among casual fans. But I do think that Islam, it's a close call. It's a really close call. But I think Islam Makhachev, no. I'm gonna put Khabib in front of Islam. But Alex Pereira, I do believe, has taken over Khabib Nurmagomedov for stardom. Gamebred, Wow, not a star at all anymore. He went from an S tier. Honestly, guys, is he a D tier? Yeah. Yeah, because everybody, yeah. I think Masvidal's just destroyed himself. I think he has to go in the D tier now. And Francis Ngannou destroyed himself too. What pull does Francis Ngannou have? Besides, like, now he has the African influence, and he does have the attention of everybody who's really, really a Dana White hater. You know, like the Ariel Helwani types, the MMA Joey types. I think that's really all, but that's not really the casual fan base. I don't think Francis Ngannou has much pull at all anymore. This is so tough, man. I'm going to put him in the front of C tier. No, because... No, I'm going to put him in front of Yuri Prochazka. That's where I'm going to put Francis Ngannou. So, guys, this is what I believe as of right now are the biggest stars in the UFC. I would love to know what you guys think down below. Thank you very, very much for being here. Thank you very much for watching. If you guys are interested in watching another tier list video, why don't you check out this video on screen right now, ranking every single MMA YouTuber just by their logos. You can check that out video on the screen right there, guys. I messed up my outro completely. Thank you for being here. I'll see you in the next video. Take care.